Oh, switch. 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 Okay, everything has to be turned down. Oh, shucks. Okay, welcome to Educators with Oil. I'm your hostess, Ronette Branham, here to offer biblical strategies for effective teaching. Thank you for joining me today. And I am, again, always excited to be here, whether I have one, two, whatever amount of viewers I have for that time. I am always excited to um, to see and be here with my guests. So I'm trying to what I'm trying to do is see how to get into this live and what's happening here. Uh, 1 second. It's not what I want to do. Okay, I don't know how to do it live now. It says I'm live. So, uh, okay, going. 1 second. Sorry about that. I watch people do that, and then I'm like, why do they have to? They have to, adjust. Why are they adjusting things while they are online? Um, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out while I am here. So I'll just leave this alone because I just don't. I'm not sure how to get to actually the live video from another account. How? I don't know. Says it's not available, but I know it's live. Okay, so anyway, sorry about that. So what's happening right now is I am. This message is for me, no matter um, who. This message is for me today, for me yesterday. Maybe not today because I've kind of worked through it, but the episode is for me. That's how I came about it. And most of the times I come about it that way because the things I'm going through on my job right now, they are kind of conducive to being bitter or kind of conducive to bitterness and anxiety. And just for instance, the other day on a teacher site on Facebook, a teacher page, the question was saying, we have an open space that we could write or share our uh, issues or just write. I don't know what the word was, but that is something that we it was so easy for everybody to chime in and give their gripes and what they're frustrated about on the job as a teacher. It was so easy. I mean, when I say easy, it was easy. I joined in and I could have said more and I could have kept going. It was just amazing how easy it was just to offer our gripes based off teacher, what we're going through as a teacher. And then here I have this podcast offering biblical strategies for effective teaching, and I'm struggling. I had a headache for a month. One entire month I had a headache because of my job. I mean, 90% because of my job. Other things happened, but the main thing was being frustrated with my job. Being frustrated with my job. It was I have a class. Last year I talked about I had a class of Spanish speaking students. They were my students, so it was easier to work with them. It was easier because I was all they had, so they had to listen to me, right? So they had to learn the language. I was able to even offer the Spanish that I knew, interpret, use Google Translate, do all that stuff. I was able to do that, right? This year they tell me only English. Students cannot speak English. They don't understand English. It's just one thing if they don't speak English, but they don't understand English. So how could You ask a teacher to teach only in English. I didn't say teach them English. I said teach in English. So I'm teaching in English and I'm trying to follow the curriculum. How do you do that? Just think about, you go to another country. Just say you go to China. I don't care where it's at. Any country that you don't speak the language. You don't speak Spanish and you go to, oh, where? Who speaks Spanish? You go to Spain. Go to Spain and you sit in a class while the teacher is teaching in Spanish. She's not teaching you Spanish now. She's teaching in Spanish. Everything she's saying is Spanish. She's directing you in Spanish. Now, generally, we must show a child a book and say, this is your math book, this is your science book, this is your phonics notebook, that sort of stuff, right? But they'll get it. That's my math book. They don't know the word book. In English, you say, take out your math book. They're just looking at you. You say, we're going to go over the alphabet, right? Mind you, you're talking to them, teaching in English, trying to teach in English. Everything you're saying is in English. And the basis of teaching in English is that the students understand what you're saying. So all you have to do is teach them a new skill. That's the thing. You're teaching a new skill, right? Teaching a new skill. But they do not understand English. So you're just talking to yourself, maybe to 5 students. Let's give it 5 students. Speaking to 5 students, the other 5, get the other 12, 15, 17 students, 18 students are just looking at you. So after a while, they're not looking at you anymore. They're talking among themselves because they tune you out. So now they don't even recognize your voice anymore. They're just tuning you out. You talk. I have a thing. I say, class, class. They say, yes, yes. I say, however, I say, class, class. They answer me the same way. They say, yes, yes. But then they sit in a ready position, ready for me to say what it is I have to say to them, ready for the instructions I have to give them. So I say, class, class. They say, yes, yes. Get in a ready position and look at me. See what I want. I say, classity, class, class. They say, yesity, yes, yes. And they listen. These students don't hear my voice anymore. And I say, these students, okay, I'll give you a few. But guess what's happening? For the few that are listening, following directions, are open to hear what I'm saying, guess what's happening with them? They're falling in line with the rest of the class, with the majority. I have a headache. I have a headache. Not today, because I'm learning. I'm this message, I spoke it to myself. I wrote it. I wrote so many pages of notes of what I want to talk about. So I did that. So I'm working, I'm talking, I'm studying, because what am I going to do? So every Monday, I come in with something new. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to make it work. So when I say that, it was so easy to get into that gripe. And let's say, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to talk about what our problem is at work, right? So that's what I did. I chimed in. Other people chimed in. We got it going. All the problems. There's other people who have the same gripe as me. I don't know what they called it. It wasn't called a gripe, but it is basically a gripe. So my thing is, now I'm offering biblical strategies. So what's the strategy for this? What's the strategy for you going to work frustrated every day when this is a job you say God called you to? This is a job. Teaching is a job where you have to be called. If you're not, you're going to be frustrated always. It's going to be tough. You're not going to like your job. I love my job. What I'm doing right now, I don't so much. I hated it for a whole month. Till now, I'm good. Not good as far as what is happening, but I'm good inside. So I have to offer biblical strategy. I can't just keep griping and giving people my negativity, because the Bible doesn't talk about. The Bible talks about, what to think on. The Bible talks about. I'm going to get it. 1 second. Think on things. Let me see. Think on these things. The Bible says, if there's any virtue and if there's any praise, think on these things. So I'm going to think on things that are virtuous. The Bible says, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are a good report. So if you go through that, you're going to say, well, this is honest, what I'm talking about. This is really exactly what's happening. This is true, exactly what's happening. That's what I'm telling you about. Then keep it going. Whatsoever things are just. Is this just what's happening to you? No. That doesn't mean take up for yourself. That doesn't mean don't take up for yourself. That doesn't mean don't speak your truth. Don't that doesn't mean get help for what is ailing you, what the problem is. That doesn't mean that. That means uh is it just? Let's not keep dwelling on that. Let's look for a solution. Whatever things are pure. Are you saying this out of a pure heart, or are you trying to get back at somebody for things that they're doing to you? You know? Are you talking to people about what's happening to get an answer? Or are you talking about it just to gripe? Right? Whatsoever things are lovely. Is this lovely what's happening? No. It's not. Let's stop dwelling on that stuff. Let's dwell on what's good about what's happening. What's good about what's going on your job. Like, I have students who are learning, who are coming to me, who are trying. I had a little girl who I thought she was special. Honestly, I looked at her face. Her eyes were like glassy, looking at me. She was looking what I thought was looking like she. It was what I thought, but not the way I thought. She didn't understand me. I thought she didn't understand the work. She couldn't comprehend what was happening. What the work I was giving. She just was looking like a deer in the headlights. I guess that's what a deer looks like. Just dazed. She was looking at me, trying to get some understanding out of me. She was trying to comprehend something that I said, and she couldn't. So she just sat there, just looking like. I talked to the other teacher because this is a thing. Because they don't have enough bilingual teachers, what they did, they want every student to get a Spanish speaking teacher. Mind you, doesn't it's not like they have, we have an influx of Haitian students speaking French and things like that, right? Even though I know a lot of them speak English because they learn, other countries are not like us. They learn two languages. They're not like the Latin American countries. They're not like that where they just learn Spanish and that's it. They're not like Americans where we just learn English and that's it. A lot of countries like French, a lot of times they only speak French, but then sometimes they learn other languages. I've met people who are fluent in 3 and 4 languages, like from other countries, right? So it's not like, this is where the thing comes in. It's not like they have Haitian teachers or French teachers for that high population of French speaking students. Their bilingual is Spanish speaking. So what happens if we had 20 French speaking students come in? Were they going to offer a French teacher and I had to do the same thing? Probably not. So I understand we have a lot of Spanish speakers. So they don't want to deprive the students of having a Spanish speaking teacher. So they teach the students. We have 2 classes, right? In each grade. 2 classes. English teacher, Spanish teacher. So for the literacy block, I teach my students in English. And then after that, they go to the Spanish speaking teacher. And then I take her students for the rest of the day. Vice versa. That's what we do. So when her students come in, they're used to her. And then they are like not trying to understand me. They just start talking, they tune me out. So there's the frustration comes in. So when I spoke about, so the Bible talks about whatever things are of a good report. So now I can say, now I come into my class, I try to think about what's good. So the student that I'm referring to, I talked to the other teacher and she said, what? She is right. She's answering questions. She participates. She is on it. She has a high level of reading in Spanish. Good to know, because I thought she was special. I thought she was going to need to be referred for special education, which is kind of silly because I know these students don't speak English, right? Same thing it will be for me if I went to another country and I try to sit and they're talking to me and I don't know what they're saying. They're not doing gestures. They're just talking straight. I don't know what they're saying. So I had a breakthrough with her. and I speak to her. I learn. I'm going to speak in Spanish, whatever I have to do to communicate with these students. So she's sounding out words. She's doing it, and she is. I give words for phonics, and I ask them, "What is this word?" She's raising her hand. I ask you, "How do you spell whatever, sitch and sitch, whatever the word is?" She's raising her hand to answer the questions. So that's a good report, because I was thinking it was something different, but she's understanding how to sound out a word. She understands the sounds of the letters. So she has that. So that's a good report. There's any virtue. If I can find any virtue in what I'm doing, virtue is that I what is happening is I am learning myself. I learned no matter where I go, I'm who I am. I need to change some things. Yeah. Like the moral standards that I have, I'm learning who I am based off this, because of this situation that I'm in. And so I'm in this situation. I have to make the best of it. I have to show virtue. I can't just be complaining all the time. I can't just be uh, trying to get answers when I know they don't have answers. So I have to come within myself and figure it out, get my answers. I shouldn't have to do that, but I do. So I have to see what is virtuous that I have inside of me based off that. Do I have any honesty? Am I being honest? Am I telling the truth? Do I have courage? Am I courageous? Because I quit. So I told my boss I didn't want to do this. I said I didn't want this job. I didn't ask for this job. I don't know how I got the job. I didn't want it. But now I have to see it. Am I courageous? Am I strong enough? Can I handle this? And I know people always say, and I don't know how, we take scripture and switch it around, how we want to switch it around. And what we'll say, God doesn't give us more than we could bear. But my Bible says, when I am weak, then he is strong. So if I'm weak in something, I have to stand by and let him be strong in that, be my strength. So I'm able to handle this job. Do I have any compassion? I have compassion for my students. I even have compassion for the principals who have to implement, have to facilitate this. They're just giving directives from above, from the higher ups, and trying to make sure that we implement what they're giving us. Whether they agree with it or not, I have compassion for that, because I found out I'm in the wrong place. I love teaching. I love doing it, but the difference that I want to make in students is not in the teaching, not on the ground. It's not being that technician, that technician with the consumers. It's not that. You have to be in a different position in order to make change in education, because the things that are happening now in education, I'm just a teacher. All I can do is be there. All I can do is be there. So am I being generous with what I know? I talk to people. This is what I think you should do. This is what I think we should do. Fidelity. Am I going to operate in my position with fidelity? Yes. That's a virtue that I know I can do. So I'm going to do my job with fidelity. I'm do it the best I can. And do I have integrity? Yes. I'm trying not to fail my students. I'm trying to do what I should, how I can, with what I have. So am I fair? Am I fair with my principal, with those above giving these directives? Yes, I am. So I'm having self-control, because I was like, I didn't have self-control. I was complaining to whoever I could find. Not even just complaining. I'm telling them, asking them, what are you doing? How's this working for you? That kind of stuff. I have to control myself. Close your mouth, and do what it is you need to do. So yeah, speak on, things that are virtuous. Do that. So this is where I said it comes in for me. Complaining, frustrated, hating going to work, having a headache, hating for the second class to come in because they were less English speakers. They would talk more right in front of me, and I'm calling their names, and they don't hear me calling their own name. Frustrating. So, what I have found out, because the Bible tells me that the joy of the Lord is my strength. Not only do I grab a hold of the joy of the Lord. How do you get the joy of the Lord? By God answering your prayers. When God answers your prayers, you get joy from that. So then you could walk around joyous. God is with me. He's working with me. I have him. He has me. That gives you joy, right? It does. The Bible says it. So I just have to know that within me, I went to a workshop about a year ago. I don't know if it was a year ago. Could be. I'm not sure. It was not that long ago. Could have been the beginning of this year. I know it was kind of cold outside. So I went to the webinar, and there was these guys talking about, stress. It was a stress workshop about how to release stress and all this. So within that, there's a book. Forgot what the book is called. It's I'm going to tell you in a second. The book was called huh. Well, I'll tell you what it's about while I look for the name of the book. So it was called My Grandmother's wait, The Body Keeps the Score. Bessel van der Kolk. The Body Keeps the Score. Or My Grandmother's Hand by I don't know. Manikim is the last name. So what they taught us was that you have about 500 years of trauma, wisdom, and resilience in your body. That blueprint is in you. So a lot of times you are traumatized, or you get a reaction uh, from something that you didn't have never experienced. You wonder why are you getting these kind of reactions? Like you're very nervous about things and you don't even know why. It's just things that were passed down from generation to generation to you. So our DNA does not change, but we have what we call active parts of our brain. Active parts. What is more active? That we are. Okay, you could be different parts of your brain. Different emotions are more active than others. So if you concentrate on what is good and pure and true, then you'll have better reactions to different situations. So that's what we have. And then we have in our body, we have wisdom that was passed down from generation to generation through our DNA. We have parents who made it through, if you look like me, made it through slavery. And I say made it through, you're here to prove that your ancestors made it. If you look like me and you're from the United States, or from the Caribbean, where they had slave trade was high, right? We have that. So what we have to do is reach in, and not to mention in our heart is the part of us that God has placed in us. It's our heart is sort of like our mind. It has memory and it's connected to what God has given us. I talked about this. I wrote all this stuff down Saturday. Then last night I listened to a woman. I forgot her name. And it's Anita something, Dr. Anita something. And she's a psychologist. And she talks about the same thing that I've been planning. Like, this is stuff I learned last year, and I had to reach back and get it. And I never heard of her. And now she's talking about this, about how God planted things in us, like as if we're a garden, our bodies are a garden, and then there's things in us. So I found that we have set points in our body. I don't know if you ever lost weight. If you ever lost weight or gained weight, then your body gets back to that normal space. You gain 20 pounds, but your body wants to get back to where it was, right? You'll stop eating so much. You will push back because something in you doesn't want to eat more, right? Or you lost a lot of weight, and then your body wants to keep going back up to where it was. That set point, that's called set point. If you talk to a nutritionist, you'll get that from them. And so your body has a normal. Our minds have a normal, our hearts have a normal. What's normal to us, this is what we do. But it's normal for us to complain. It's normal for us to be upset about things that are actually upsetting. It's upsetting that I have 2 classes. I didn't ask for it. It's upsetting that I have to speak to students who don't understand anything I'm saying. That's upsetting. So I can get upset. My first inclination is to go talk to somebody and say it, voice my opinion. This is not cool what you're doing. How you are failing the students because you're giving them meat and I can't speak to them, and you're telling me only speak in English to people who don't know English. So that's upsetting. But my normal is to go and I'm going to get this right. We're going to talk. That's my normal. I have to have a new normal. My new normal has to be to reach inside and get that joy that God placed in me. To reach inside and get, the presence of God that He has. That's even when we're home. Our children, our family, us, ourselves, we do things and then we get upset about it. We look at ourselves sometimes and we say, we might talk about, I'm getting this kind of treatment because of something that I did. We already asked God to forgive us. Come on, keep on moving. Have a new normal. That's not my reaction to things that happen to me. My new normal is we're gonna shift our normal from here to up here, to a brighter future. We are comfortable here, but let's get comfortable up here. That'll be our normal, and then maybe we have to change something once we get there. Our new next normal will be way up higher than that. So we have to change our normal. We talked about that back when COVID came. We're going to have a new normal. This is what are we going to see after COVID, after this shutdown? We're going to have new things. A lot of people stay shut down. Not so much. They found out we could do everything virtually. You don't even have to step foot in a store. Not for even milk. You don't have to step foot in a store ever. That's a normal for some people. New normal for people are wearing masks. We don't get on places we should have been wearing masks all the time. We didn't. Now the norm is to wear a mask. So different things. Our new normal should be speaking positivity. What did I just say? If there's any virtue, if there's any praise, think on these things. So we're gonna think on that. Not only that, you think I'm playing. I'm talking to me right now. Like seriously. Things I say and things I do is not cool. Not cool. It's time to change who we are. Create a new normal in us. So just even talking about the fruit of the spirit. If we walk in the fruit of the spirit, walk in the fruit of the spirit, that is going to remedy a whole lot of what we have going on. A whole lot of what we have going on. So we want to walk in joy, love, peace. I mean, walking in frustration is not walking in peace. Walking in complaining attitude is not walking in peace. Where's our fruit of spirit? Where's our joy? We need to walk around. People say she is always happy. She always seems to have joy. That's what they need to say about you or he, right? Forbearance. Can I handle this? How long can I handle this? What we think is a long time may not be a long time, because what we're doing right now, and I found out it's not just Trenton. My grandson, his teacher told at back to school night, she said the same exact thing I said, and she doesn't even know me. We don't even work in the same district. She said she didn't even know what she's doing. She said everything is new. I'm learning this stuff with my students. Everything is new. All our curriculums are new. We have new math, new literacy, new science, social studies. That's another thing, because we don't even have books. We have to piece things together, which is okay. That's all. See what I'm talking about? My normal was to go there, and it shouldn't be. My normal is to say, well, I can figure it out. I'm strong enough to figure it out, right? Walk in kindness, walk in goodness. I'm trying gentleness. That's something that I need to work on. Not in the classroom with my students. It's not. It's in general, right? And self-control. Stop me in my mouth. I have to learn how to be quiet sometimes. Just let it. So we have to try to work on our new normal. Example, your teacher. You have a student who's reading level D. That's their level. They read level D. And you're in second grade and you want them to read higher. They need to be reading H, L, H, I, J, K, L. That's what they should be, right? But they're on a D. So you're going to keep introducing them to higher level books. You're going to teach them, give them all the skills they need to read level E and F books, right? You're going to teach them vowel combinations. You're going to teach them digraphs, trigraphs. You're going to teach them long vowel, short vowel, all that, right? You're going to teach them those things so that they could read higher level books. What they when you send them to get a book, what they probably are doing is they're continually getting a D book. But once you introduce them to new strategies, then they'll start getting higher level books. So we have to work on strategies that we need. Uh, and then we'll be like our students. Things we want from our students, we want to advance our students, we want our students to grow. Same thing we want with ourselves. And we have these jobs. It doesn't matter if the people higher up care about you growing. That doesn't even matter. It doesn't, because guess what? People don't care. You can say all this stuff, they don't care. The bottom line is do what I tell you to do. The bottom line is I have this new curriculum, do it. The bottom line is that we have this new framework, work it out. And you think I'm joking? I'm not. So I have to work inside of me. I have to get with God and say, what do you want me to do? God said, fruit of the spirit. What's virtuous, right? What are you going to think on? Things that are good, are pure, you know? You're going to do that. So he's giving me skills. I have to study and learn the skills. I have to get in my Bible. I told my granddaughter I need a Bible, like a physical Bible. I use the online Bible. She said you can get any version you want online. And I was like, yeah, you're right. But I want a physical one so I can go back, highlight and go back and do all that like I used to do. Right? Now everything is computerized. We don't go back. We could, but this way you flip through, you like, what was that about? Why did I highlight that? So the Bible gives us skills, same way we give skills. So I want to reach back into my, you know, ancestors that were strong and had resilience. That shows me that I can be resilient. I have it in me to be resilient. I have the joy of the Lord in me. I have what He has given me, the skills God has given me. And He gives us skills. He gives us how to walk in the fruit of the Spirit, what it means to walk in the fruit of the Spirit, what is the fruit of the Spirit. And He says we must do it. He didn't tell us it's a choice. So if He gave us that we can do it, so we're going to use our cellular memory that He gives us, and we study. We go back and look at, what's the cause of our stress. We have different kind of stress levels. We have like cholesterol. You have good cholesterol, bad cholesterol. You have good stress, bad stress. We're stressed when we're in the moment teaching our students and they're learning. That's stress, but it's good stress. But when we're talking to our students and then we're trying to teach them and they can't hear anything we're saying because they don't understand our language, that's bad stress. So we want to get rid of that. So what are we going to do to make it easier? They told me to teach in English, but I can't. I have to teach the students English first. I don't care what they say. You could make it sound good and fancy all you want. I can't talk to people who can't understand me. So I have to make it easy for them and easy for me. So as I give them sentences, I come back with, how do you say that in Spanish? How do you say this in Spanish? Let's go walking outside. How do I say that in Spanish? Como se dice? They understand that. So we work on that. Those are skills. And that way I give them little by little. Okay, so you say this. You say carro in Espanol. I say car. This is a car. What does a car look like? This is a lion. In English, you say lioness, right? Lion. Yes. There you go. Lions. So we say it, right? I make it easier for them, right? I make it easier for them. And I want to be able to teach with joy and love and excitement. Only way I can do that is if I'm working on skills, building up skills and strategies to make it through, to be able to teach and be the excellent teacher that I am. I can't be if I don't know what I'm doing. I can't be if I can't even speak to the students. So I'm working on who I want to be. Remember, we keep talking about that. Who do we want to be? We want to be better, not bitter. We want to be joyous, not angry. We don't want to be hating our job. I don't know many teachers who want to hate their job. Now, I do know some who want to hate their job. I mean, they're going to complain even if you give them an answer. They want to complain. They want to hate it. They don't want to like it, period. But I don't know many. I know people who hate their job in other professions and they feel like they have to do it. But I don't know many educators who want to hate their job. Like I said, there's some, but I don't. So we have to change, you know, aspects of our DNA, that are active or dormant. that are active or dormant. We want to change that, the dormant aspects. We can't change our DNA, but we can change aspects of our DNA that are dormant. If something is dormant, it's not active, right? You don't have joy, you're not walking in joy, that's not active, that's dormant, right? You're walking in anger and bitterness, that's active. We want to make what's active, if it's not good, dormant. We want to make what's dormant, if it's great, make it active. So we have to tap into that wisdom that we got from our that we have in our DNA. The Bible says, any of you lack wisdom, ask God, who gives liberally. I mean, he says it. Tap into that resilience. You have this, you got this, you can handle it. I know you got a headache right now, but we have to think differently, and then the headaches will be gone. My doctor told me that I'm a prime candidate to change what I meditate on, what I think on, to get rid of my headaches. And he is 100% true. For a month, I sat there with the headache. I was thinking on the negative. I couldn't find a way out. I couldn't think of a way out. I hated it. And my headache for a whole month. Maybe there was one day that I got rid of headache, and guess what? I had somebody come in my classroom, headache brought back on. I mean, it was worse than ever after that. So I got to tap into that strength that I know that I have. I have to tap, that strength that causes us to get things done. We have strength to get things done. Tap into that. We want to get the joy out of, or from the point of frustration. So we don't want to walk in frustration. We want to grab joy, push that frustration down, pull that joy up. Only way we have to find strategies. We have to look for God, look to God, get the wisdom that he tells us that he has offered us to, in order to find it what it is that we need. He is a wise God. How about we get with some wise counsel? I always talk about that because there are people who can help. I went to I sent a message to our union leader. I went to the union person in our building. He said, send a message to the union people. I did. They said they're going to get together. Everybody's going to come together and discuss this, because they should have asked me if I wanted this job. They should have asked the people. People have the job and they didn't want it. And they hated it from the day one, because we have people coming and telling us, this is what it should look like. This is what it should look like. All the while, we can't even speak to our students. So I went, and then they decided they're going to get us all together and we're going to have a discussion. You have to use some wisdom, get with wise counsel. So we're going to have everybody together, and hopefully people are heard, So I hear people talking about higher power. People talk about my higher power. I'm talking to my higher power. I'm talking to the universe. But guess what? I don't have time for that. I want the highest power as to confer with. I want the creator of the universe, not the universe, to speak to me. I want the creator of the universe. I mean, he puts everything in my path. Yes, he created this universe. He created my path. He ordered my steps. I don't have time to look to the universe. Look to God. God will direct me to what in the universe and where in the universe I need to be, who I need to be. So I'd rather have God, the highest power, than trying to pray to that higher power or to the universe. The universe is not a creator. God is the creator. So the joy of the Lord is our strength. So we're going to have to limit negative conversations, limit that negativity in conversations, change the conversation up, switch the conversation. We're going to have to discover something new. Whatever, if it's on the job or off the job, do something new. Find something new. Take your mind off of it. I'm telling you, my headaches have been horrible. We have to find somebody to serve. If you're an educator, you already have somebody to serve. Serve your students. Shut your door. Serve your students. How can you best serve your students? You can't best serve your students by speaking a language they don't understand. You can say that all you want. You can talk to your blue in the face. Me and my students can't communicate. If I sit there and just talk to them, they don't know what I'm saying. I have to have all kind of manipulative. I have to teach ESL, essentially. That's just what it is. Get some exercise regularly. You don't understand. I walked every day just about for the last, I want to say 30 years. I mean, more than 30 years. Just about every day. Walked. Then there were times I went to the gym every single day. I haven't walked since school started. I walked one day. I went to walk to a store. Why did I do that? I don't know. I just did it. Did I walk to? I walked somewhere. I remember. I don't know where. I walked in the mall. Walked around. But we have to get regular exercise, and we have to look for good and think on the good. We have to look on the good in our situations. We have to do it because otherwise people will kill us. We will die and they'll give somebody else our job. They'll be sad. Oh man, Ronette died. Ronette was stressed out. She had a stroke. Her head hurt so bad. She had a stroke in the classroom. But guess what? We got to fill that position. Can't leave this class empty. So you have to look on what's good. We have to look. I have to. Even at home, your family be sad you died, but guess what? You'll be dead still. Right? Mm, we have things that stand out when we experience positive feelings. So you experience positive feelings, remember that. Remember that and tap into that every time you feel like something's not going right. Try to grab hold of that feeling you felt when you had a positive experience. Right? How about your connection to God? Focus on bringing meaning to your life and not on money. Teachers don't make, I mean, we do pretty well, but you know, we could do better. And I've realized why we don't, but focus on bringing meaning to your life. What is the meaning? Why are you here? Are you here simply because this is a job? Is that simply because I found something that my mom did, my dad did? They were teachers. I want to be a teacher. It's a job that I can do easily. Focus on if it's that's the place you need to be. So, and guess what? If we tap into that joy of the Lord, joy boosts our immune system, right? It decreases the stress hormone. Joy helps us live a more productive life. The more joyous you are, the more productive you can be. I heard somebody say the other day, that they were ready to leave. They're not so happy being here on earth, right? They're ready to take that, be gone. And you know what? It's because they don't have joy. They don't have joy. They don't have the joy that comes from God, the joy that boosts our immune system, that joy that helps us live a more productive life. Because when you have joy and you have a purpose and you know your purpose, you're going to have something to do and you're not going to be looking to die. You're not going to be looking to be, Lord, take me out of this, because you're doing something that brings you joy. So we have to get into that, and not keep dwelling on what we hate so much. Philippians 4:4 says, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. Romans 15:13. May the God of all hope fill you with all joy and peace. By the power of the Spirit, you may abound in hope. Joy is one of the fruit of the Spirit. Galatians 5:22 and 23. John 16:24. God answers our prayers. As He answers our prayers, we will be filled with joy. Because He's answering us, we're going to be filled with joy. Psalm 16:11. In His presence, there is fullness of joy. If you're talking about, I'm ready to leave here, ready to die, you're not in the presence of God, because what do you think? What do you think? It's going to be different. You're in the presence of God. You're going to have joy. He's going to tell you what to do. You're going to find your purpose. Then Romans 14:17. In the kingdom of God, there is righteousness, peace, and joy. So if we're walking in His kingdom, we're going to have that joy. I'm working on it, people. I have had it and I have been there. And now I'm working on it again, because I start dwelling on the negative in my life. What is happening? I don't like what's happening. And this is what I keep thinking about. I keep talking about. No, we have to get in the presence of God and grab hold of that joy. Look at this one. James 1:2 says, count it all joy. When you have all these trials. This is a trial that we're having in education. These are our trials. There are things that they're doing with our students, with our children, that is against God, against nature, and they're pushing it, and you cannot say anything about it. You have to suck it up. That's why we need our own schools. Whoever needs their own school. I know Jewish people have their own school. You're not just teaching their kids any old thing. I'm pretty sure they teach business in their school. So we have so many things coming at us. But guess what? When they come at us with this, they come at us with this new curriculum, all these new curriculums, we count it as joy. We're tallying up, we're taking tally, using tally marks. This is good, this is bad, this is a pro, this is a con. This is positive, this is negative. Guess what? Take that negative stuff, count it over here as joy. They gave me these students who I can't speak to, count it as joy. Because I'm going to reach to God. He's going to give me the joy because he's going to answer my prayer, what I should need to do. Count that joy. That is bringing me closer to God. Me not having what I need, is making me closer to God. It's bringing me closer to God. So in God, this fullness of joy. When I get over here, God, what do I need to do? God's going to give you that wisdom. He's going to give you that what you need. That's joy. That's joy. You didn't do me right over here? Take that tally mark, erase it, put it over here. That's joy. You didn't treat me right, but guess what? Now I know how I don't want to be treated. Right? Now I know what I like and what I don't like for myself. Count that joy. I learned that. I didn't like that. I learned that. Count that joy. Count that over here. Somebody's using you. You know they're using you. Count that joy. Now I know what it's like to be used. Right? Now I know. I know that's not how God uses me. That's how people use me. How's God use me? God used me for his glory. He using me to educate somebody. He's using me for this. I even was thinking, like, is this worth it? Should I be still doing this? How does this work? God said, when you get here, you are happy. You have joy when you come here. That's the joy of the Lord. It's not anything else. Because I could be going through. There are times, and this is how I know. I counted joy that I'm doing this because I counted joy the obstacles that I have. But that is trying to stop me. Well, I'm going to count this over here. It's trying to stop me. It's going to cause me to work harder. It's going to cause me to push harder. So having a joyful heart is good medicine. I can tell you where that is. I know that's in Proverbs somewhere. But laughter is medicine to the bone. Something like that. Anyway, we have to walk in the spirit. We have to count it all joy when we go through these trials. And sometimes not even trials, sometimes it's us. But right now, I'm talking about the trials we go through in our job, on our job. Count it all joy. That's going to cause you to work harder. That's going to cause you to dig deeper in yourself, cause you to look to God. We need him. Sometimes we forget. We're so busy working. Let's see, is this going to draw me closer to God? Maybe that's what he wants. Maybe that's what he wants. And then he makes it easier because I'm good now. I had to study this. I had to go. I had to find out what it is. What do I have in my DNA? What do I have in my heart? What does God gave me? Right? Now I'm good. Now I'm better. Now I'm not stressing about my job. The job that I couldn't stand for a whole month. It's only October. How I only been there for a month and a week. Today was the 29th day of school. 29 days. I had a headache for 26 of the days. You understand what I'm saying? 26 now. Don't count these two. I had a headache for 24 of the days of school, plus the three that we had before school. You understand? I'm counting all joy now. You know why? Because I had to get closer to God. I had to get closer to God. I had to see what he put inside of me. So I don't know. I need you people. I don't need it, but just let somebody know that I'm here. Send me a message. Tell me about this particular episode 16 of season 2. We are already on to the second year. We have completed more than a year now. And I need you to tell me, I don't need you. I want you to tell me what you think about this episode. Do you think it's doable? It's doable because I've done it today. I've done it Monday. Started yesterday. That's funny, right? I started yesterday. I let go of my headache and I started looking into what I'm doing. So tell me, is this useful? Right? Is it useful? What we're going to do about what we have? Because we have a lot of stuff going on. And again, I know it's not just in my district, because in this district that I live in, the teachers are having the same exact issue with the curriculums, having all new things to teach. I don't know that they have the same thing where they're doing dual language like me, where they have two classes. You have to teach two classes. I don't know about that. Me right now, I have no grades in my grade book. It's October. It's almost mid. It's probably is midterm. Have no grades. Somebody's gonna say it. I really don't know what to tell. I haven't. I can't tell them. Can't give a student a grade. Everything is going to be not meeting. They wouldn't be meeting it anyway if they spoke English, right? They wouldn't be meeting standards. But I'm trying to get them to understand me. How could I give you some work? I give them work. Don't get me wrong. How can I give grades when they don't even understand me? What are we working on here? I'm working on getting understanding. That's what I'm working on. So again, I did that. I did that. That normal is right here still. I'm trying to get up here and keep it up here. Counting it all joy. I'm counting it all joy because that's all I have. All I have. I can't keep dwelling on this negative because I'm not getting this. There's no white horse coming. There's no uh knight in shining armor coming. It's right in here. God has given it to me. It's right in here. That's what I have to do. We're going to work it out, people. We're going to count it all joy. Count it all joy. I promise you we can do it. So again, this is Ron at Branham offering biblical strategies for effective teaching here at Educators with Oil. Thank you and have a blessed day.